Right, so as we wind down 2020, ladies and gentlemen, it's already December. We're putting the spotlight on a few startups that were founded during COVID-19. Now that takes a lot of guts, if I can just put it very, very conservatively. And we're leaning on the startups selected by Sequoia Capital's Search Cohort program to do just that. So our next set of guests is again from the cohort, from the Search Cohort, and it is Plum Insurance. Is in the business of providing insurance premiums literally dirt cheap, less than 800 rupees for a year. Products that can cost as little as 2 rupees a day. Their clientele, SMEs, as well as unicorns, startups. I'm going to be discussing this with the founders now, Abhishek Poddar, as well as Saurabh Arora, who are joining us live right here. Guys, thanks a lot for joining us live on Startup Central. We just had Rajan Anandan, we've had Shipsy, you've been logged in for all of that. So Abhishek, if I can come to you first, very quickly, tell us about Plum Insurance. If your premium is less than 800 rupees a year, products for 2 rupees a day, how are you going to make money? And are you convinced that when the time comes, the insurance companies will actually pay up?
Hey, thank you so much for having us on the show. It's a pleasure to be here. You're very right. With Plum, the reason we started Plum was to change how corporate health insurance in India works. If you look at India, we have more than 1 million corporates, but only less than 10% of these corporates are able to afford health insurance for their employees. We looked at many Indian businesses and they find the insurance purchasing process to be tedious, very opaque, and very costly indeed. They take up months to set it up. So we started Plum to make health insurance more accessible, more affordable, and more usable. And it's for businesses of all sizes, be it a very small company of less than 5 employees, or it could be a large corporate of thousands of employees. And the price should not matter. That's one of the things that matter to us, which is how do you go and enable, think of a very traditional SME business. How do you enable them to set up insurance which can cost 750 rupees per year, right? I mean, these are companies maybe in a tier 2 town which cannot afford a very expensive corporate insurance that would cost maybe 10,000 rupees a year per employee. So how do you actually enable that kind of cover? And maybe they need a very basic cover, and that's one of the things that we are enabling, which is no matter how small a company you are, no matter what kind of budget you have, you should be able to set up a really comprehensive health insurance for your employees. And the way we set this up is we have deep partnerships and we have built some of the underwriting models with our insurance partners to make sure that we can provide a fair pricing. I wouldn't say we provide a price that will not work out. It's a price that companies can pay in a very transparent manner, but that can also ensure that when it comes to claims, we are able to pay the claims, or our insurance partners are able to pay out the claim. And that's one of the things that we're also changing with Plum, which is our commitment to the corporates and their employees is they should not spend more than 5 minutes on initiating a claim. And then you can be rest assured that, hey, Plum will take care of your employees when it comes to that.
I got it. So if I can now come to you, Saurabh, it shouldn't take more than 5 minutes. So how have you fixed this up? It's, let's say, the employer, while onboarding or whatever it is, tells the employee to fill it up. I would imagine it is all digital. Can you tell us the kind of clients that you have?
Sure. So let me answer on the claims first, Nayantara. Look, insurance administration and claims education is a very ops-heavy process. So you could, it's very error-prone and a data-heavy process. So you could end up hiring a lot of people in your operations. And so, for instance, one of the leading insurance company have about 6,000 people in a Hyderabad center processing these claim requests and the Excel sheets of data for policy booking and administration. So how we are approaching this is through automation. And think of a claim experience today in the world of the Plum is that all you need to do is to come and have a chat with this chat bot. and there's a Kumar who's an avatar waiting for you to hear you. And just respond to these interactive messages with Kumar. This could be over a WhatsApp or inside the chatbot and Plum app. And eventually what's happening is we are filling up a claim form for you. So you have to just interact and answer some of the simple queries of what kind of hospitalization you have gone through. And we are doing the heavy work of filling up a claim form and creating a claim request and processing the claims and getting you the reimbursements. To answer what kind of companies we have, like we have corporates, modern SMEs who have employees which understands English and are tech enabled. I would say they are app first users. But we also have some of the traditional SMEs who have been WhatsApp first generation or the WhatsApp first users who could just pick up their WhatsApp and start a claim process with us.
So, Abhishek, it's a great thing that you're trying to do, democratize insurance, also just give an incentive to the employers to provide insurance to their employees, right? And we all know how abysmal the penetration rates are for insurance products in the country. But your product, from the sense that I'm getting from what you both have told me so far, what you and Saurabh have told me, is primarily health insurance, right? Do you have any plans to get into accidental, travel, life?
We do. So right now we focus on entire gamut of employee wellness and employee benefits. So we started with health insurance, but we already enable accident insurance and life insurance for the employees. On top of that, we also enable different kind of health benefits. So we want to basically enable corporates and their employees to take a more holistic approach towards wellness. So think about doing annual health checkups. Think about accessing the right kind of doctors so that you don't have to get hospitalized at all. Think about having dental checkups once every 6 months. So we are enabling each of these health benefits as well for the corporates so that they can build a more comprehensive wellness package for their employees and not just limit it to health insurance. Health insurance comes when you are actually hospitalized, right? But your journey should start much earlier than before getting hospitalized.
Saurabh, how are you guys doing it? I mean, I don't expect you to tell me the secret behind your business model and negotiations and all of that, but 800 rupees a year, some products as cheap as 2 rupees a day. There's always some cynicism that comes in. How is this possible? So what are you going to tell all of us who are being negative and saying it's not possible?
Well, you mean the pricing? How is it not possible? I think if you look at the healthcare expenses in India and now compare it with any of the developed nations, our healthcare expenses in itself is about 100x less than a hospitalization that could, for the same disease, could be operated, let's say, in US or Europe. So one, that is a premise, which is as an average in India, we have access to high quality healthcare at less pricing. And on the insurance pricing, look, it's a pool of risk. So what we must be good at is to create a pool of risk which is not creating any adverse selection where people are creating a group just because they want to access a health insurance and access a healthcare. So what we do is we do a lot of effort on making sure that there is no frauds which are happening where an SME is not purchasing a health insurance just because they want to use health insurance. So we have a fraud detection for small businesses where a group is not created necessarily to take health to use health insurance. We validate the legitimacy of a business and therefore what kind of groups it is. We're using a lot of data to identify if this is the right group which we want the health insurance, and hence the fair pricing. And the fair pricing is such that it matches a seal, which means it's not going beyond and charging an absurd price which an agent or a broker could charge because of mis-selling or maybe lack of transparency, which we talked about earlier. Or it also should not be floor, where the insurance company is booking policies at a loss. So we have used a lot of data and checks and balances in place to come up at a fair pricing. And this is just also opening up the market. So we are increasing the penetration of India market. And we have a long journey ahead in sort of the price corrections, but also work with the healthcare industry to figure out the adequate pricing, let's say in a midterm to a long-term situations.
And as far as the long journey goes, here's wishing you all the very best from Team Startup Central. Look forward to more interactions with both of you, and after the entire mentorship period is over, and let's see how you guys perform, and we'd love to have you back on the show. Till then, that's Plum, trying to disrupt the insurance space, clientele targeting startups as well as SMEs. If you can get your employees insurance for as little as 800 rupees a year, why won't you do it? Seems as simple as that, doesn't it? We'll take a short commercial break. On the other side, we're going to have another Plum on the show. That one is a full-on vegan beauty brand that has impressed the likes of Unilever. That and more coming up.